All right, welcome to day number 2 of our challenge. This is the 5-day challenge for how to launch your content show. I am a huge believer in creating the free content so that people can find you, discover you, attract an audience by giving away free value. There's a big difference between displaying your expertise, which a lot of coaches and people do, speakers, where they just show all their accolades on a website, and demonstrating your expertise through actual content, teaching, podcasting, YouTube videos, how to. Now, you don't have to do all of it. In this challenge, I want you to choose just one, and that is either you're going to launch a blog, a podcast, or a YouTube channel, or live streaming like I am here. And I didn't start, my journey did not start with doing all of the things. In fact, let me show you this because I think this would be a real help to many of you. I've been doing this for well over a decade. I started my blog in 2009, and blogging has rewarded me over the years. So this is just one of my blogs, over 324 blog posts that together generate over 500,000 page views, and it consistently has traffic to it every single day. And so it was a way for me to be able to create something once, and then it continues to work for me, bringing people into my world. So that's what a blog can do. On the podcast, so in 2011, I started the Blogging Your Passion podcast 2 years ago. Actually, I started a couple podcasts. I've done the Simple Life Habits podcast for productivity. I've done the Blogging Your Passion podcast for a couple of years. That was just on blogging. And then when I came out with my new book, Your Message Matters, end of 2020, I started the Market Your Message podcast. And you can see here we've had over 120 ratings, 238 episodes on that. And according to Buzzsprout, it has had over 684,000 plus downloads of the Market Your Message show. And so podcasting is a great way to build an audience to your message. And then, of course, there's YouTube. Now, YouTube, I probably didn't take as serious in the beginning. I had a YouTube channel for a while. I've probably taken a little bit more serious, I would say, the last year or two. And I still got more that I want to do with the YouTube channel. But, even right now, I've got close to 500,000 views on my videos of around 200 videos that are on YouTube. So YouTube can be a great place. And then about, I would say almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I got serious about live streaming, which is what I'm doing right now. And live streaming, there's an opportunity to live stream. In fact, right now, we are live streaming on Facebook, on YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live. If you're watching over on LinkedIn, it's a kind of a newer platform where you can go live. I'm also live on Twitter. And so what this does is it allows me to capture my audience that are just hanging out in different social media platforms. And every week I run a live stream show that the content part of that live stream show becomes a future podcast, blog post, YouTube video in an more of an edited down form, where the live stream show, I show up live, answer questions, and we do that every Wednesday at 1 p.m. And you can see since we started that, we're up to 83 weekly episodes of the live stream show. And so you look at all of this and it can be a lot, right? Blog, podcast, YouTube, live streaming. You don't need to start there. You don't need to do all of it. And what we're teaching in this 5-day challenge is how to select one and how do you actually get it off the ground and get some traction going. Now, if you missed yesterday, I talked about kind of the content strategy map and why this is a smarter way to think about creating content. Because what a lot of people, the thing that I hear over and over again is, I don't know what content to create, or I feel like the stuff I'm publishing is all about the same kind of topic. And so go back and watch day one. It's there for you to watch wherever you're at. If you're over on LinkedIn, it's going to be in the news feed. YouTube, there's a YouTube video before this one, that was yesterday, all about this content strategy map. Super important. And by the way, if you're watching right now, go ahead and let me know you're here. Put your first name, where you're watching from, so I can say hello to you. And also, let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer some questions as we go along today. So today, I'm really excited to cover an important topic, which is around this concept of your content superpower. And so what I'm going to do is I've got my pen here. I'm actually going to teach you something that I used to only teach those people in my insider program, which is my mentoring program. And I've started teaching this more in different scenarios. And I want to teach it to you today because I think it is so very important that you understand the concept of are you more of a writer, teacher, speaker, or coach, right? In fact, I talk about this in my book. If you've read my book, there is a whole 32 question assessment that is built into the book. If you don't have a copy, by the way, you can go to Your Message Matters book. So it's just the title of the book, Your Message Matters. Add the word book.com, and I'll send you out a free copy. Just pay for the shipping and handling. But in this book, I shared for the first time, outside of like my higher end programs, the 32 question assessment. It's a 32 question assessment. And the goal of this 32 question assessment is to help you understand if you are more of a writer, teacher, speaker, or coach. So what I want to do today is I want to kind of use that and break it down. So first, what is the problem that we are solving today? Because every day in the challenge solves a problem. Here is the problem we're trying to solve. A lot of people are trying to force something we dislike. So we're trying to force something we dislike. Now, actually, before I get into that, some of you might be saying, well, how do I get access to this workbook, Jonathan, that you have? No email address required. You just go to jmill.biz/workbook, and you can actually get a copy of this PDF that I'm writing on. So again, jmill.biz/workbook, and you'll be able to take notes as we go through this 5-day challenge. And also, there's some exercises built into this workbook as well. All right. So a lot of people I find, and I've worked with content creators for a decade now, and what I'd often find is they were trying to force themselves into something they dislike. So, for example, let's say they don't really want to record videos, but yet they keep hearing YouTube videos is a great way to grow their business. They're like, I don't want to record videos. I'm like, well, why are you forcing yourself to create videos? There's lots of ways you can build an audience. Or I've heard them come to me before and like, Jonathan, I'm just having such a hard time with blogging. I just stare at that cursor that's blinking. I don't know what to say. It's hard for me to get my thoughts out onto paper. I'm much better on a podcast, having a conversation with somebody about a topic, or I'm better at doing YouTube videos. Well, I want to liberate you today. And the way that I want to liberate you is there's a secret. There's a secret that we don't talk about enough. And this is the secret. I want you to create content that matches your superpower. See, one of the reasons why I created this assessment to help you identify if you're more motivated to write, teach, speak, or coach is because I saw a lot of content creators struggling. Can you build skills into all those areas? Yes. But the assessment that I cover in this book, it's designed to uncover where you're the most motivated. Are you more motivated to write, coach, teach, or speak? And when you align how you're wired with what you do, that's where momentum begins to build. And so what I want to do is I want to use this space right here and kind of break this down for you a little bit more. Make this a little bit smaller. So we're going to talk about in this box, writer. Okay. That's one option. Or you say, Jonathan, I'm more of a coach. So this will be our other option. Let's go over here. And for this one, let's say speaker. And then finally, there's teacher. So those are the four. Now, what I often teach is that there are multiple streams of income that you can build in all four of these areas. So for example, writer, there's, a Kindle book, a print book like this. I also turn this into an audiobook, and now I have 3 ways to get paid for one piece. So there's writer income streams. For coaches, there's an opportunity to do one-on-one coaching, group coaching. For speakers, there's an opportunity to get paid to speak or get paid to do a workshop somewhere. For teachers, course creation, membership site. The point is, there are a lot of different ways you can get paid. But what about creating content? Well, this is the way I want you to look at it. If you're more of a writer, then you should think about a blog. If you are more of a coach, you should think about a podcast, especially a conversational podcast. Either you have a co-host or you invite people to interview them on your podcast because you're really good conversationalist. You're good at asking good questions. That's what a coach would do. A coach is really good in those one-on-one conversations. What about speaker? Well, if you're a speaker, then you should consider YouTube, right? Because you might have, it might be hard for you to write a blog post, but give you a topic and let you riff on it for 5 minutes on a video, stuff just bubbles out of you, right? And then finally, teacher. Well, a teacher, a great one is live stream. Live stream. Think about what I'm doing right now. This is like my virtual classroom. You're catching me here, whether you're live or watching the replay, and I am in my home office and I get a chance to teach with tools, writing on this iPad, teaching you, and it's absolutely what I love to do. Teaching is my highest when it comes to when I take the assessment for writer, teacher, speaker, coach. I absolutely love to teach. I love to create these challenges. I love to create tools. And so you might be like me, you might want to think about live streaming. So tell me real quick, we're going to pause just for a second before we get more into this and tell me, is this resonating? Is this making sense to you? Give me some thumbs up or say yes in the comments if this is making some sense, that you should align who you are with what you do. That if you're more motivated to write, then you should really think about a blog. If you are more motivated to speak, then a YouTube channel might be great for you. Same with podcasts. And I see the thumbs up coming in. Thank you guys, wherever you're watching from. Or go ahead and comment and let me know if this is resonating with you. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the pros and cons of each of these real quick, because I think it'd be really helpful. So let's talk about a blog. What are the pros and what are the cons of a blog, right? That's important to discuss. Well, here's what I'd say about the pros. It's real easy to publish. Right? I mean, you can start a blog today, write an article, however long or short, and publish it. And it's out there, right? It's it's not difficult to get started with a blog. Take, for example, live streaming. Well, you got to get a camera. You have got to you've got to have a good microphone. You want to think about your backdrop a little bit, right? You don't want a whole laundry full of unfolded clothes or dirty laundry in the back scene. And you're talking about maybe you're an organizational coach, right? or home organizing coach. You got to think about those things. With a blog, you can like write it anywhere. You can go to Starbucks, write your blog post, publish it. So it's easy to publish. The other pro that I would say with a blog is it is low tech. It's low tech in the sense that once you get everything set up, you're good to go. I see Mary said, by the way, sound is much better today. Yeah, I was using this other microphone. This is what I use for podcasting, and we'll get into actual tools for, what tools should you consider. So I was using this really fancy mic, but what happens is this is a dynamic microphone, which means if you turn your head away or you're writing like I was yesterday, you could be talking the same amount, but it's not picking up your voice. Now, that's a good thing if you've got crying babies in the house and you have dogs that like to bark when the mailman shows up. There is advantages to having a really good quality podcast mic. But for live streaming, I've got a shotgun mic that's just above here. And again, coming up in one of these days, I'm going to talk about tools like level 1, level 2, and level 3 tools, what you should have. All right, let's talk about the cons. First con is SEO. Now you're like, what do you mean is it a con? Or I don't even know what SEO is. Well, SEO stands for search engine optimization. Now the reason I have this as a con is because a blog is slow to grow. But a blog, once you get the traffic coming, your articles continue to work for you. So for example, the blog post that gets the most traffic for me every single month, I actually published back in 2010. 2010. That's 12 years ago. And it still gets tons of search traffic every single day. But when I first published it in 2010, it wasn't like an instant thousands of people showing up. It took time to build. As your content ages, it tends to, for the most part, if you're choosing the right topics, it tends to rank better over time. And it can continue to work for you, but it's a slower process. So that's a blog. Let's talk about Coach. What are some pros and cons to a podcast? Is this helpful? If this is helpful so far, let me know. Just put yes in the chat. Again, I can see all of your content coming in here, whether you're on the Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, let me know. So pros is it's easy to get started with an interview style, right? You don't even have to create the content. You just come with questions. You can get started just by having a decent mic. And there's literally good quality podcast mics for around 50, 60 bucks that we'll talk about coming up in a couple days. And then it can be low tech. And what do you mean by low tech? Well, if you use the right tools that are out there, when I first started podcasting, it was technically difficult. You had to figure out how to tag an MP3 and you had to do all this stuff before you published it, you uploaded it somewhere. Now, using a tool that I use that I'll talk about in a couple of days, it's as easy as uploading any file. Any file that you record will turn it into a podcast. It's not that difficult. You don't have to get camera ready, especially for you ladies out there. No makeup's required, no doing of the hair to do a podcast. You just, it's just your voice, right? Okay, let's talk about some cons. What are some cons to a podcast? I'd say, you're going to need a quiet place. That's a big one. Now, if you pay a little bit more for a good quality microphone and you get a dynamic one, which I'll explain what that means in a couple of days, it's kind of like what this one is. So this is a dynamic. That's a static or not a static, condenser microphone. So there's condenser and dynamic. We'll talk about those differences. But a dynamic microphone doesn't pick up all the other sound. And you could literally have a crying baby and a barking dog outside your door, and it's not going to show up on the podcast, which is really, really cool. But for the most part, a lot of people, they need a quiet place. And then if you're doing an interview podcast, scheduling could be a challenge, right? Because you may have to do your interviews in the evenings. You may have to do them on the weekends if you have an interview podcast. All right, so that is Coach. Let's go over here to Speaker and talk about YouTube. What are some pros and cons to YouTube. Some pros are it is the #2 search engine. It's the #2 search engine. It's right behind Google. So a lot of people, you probably found yourself doing this. A lot of people go to YouTube to find an answer. I mean, how many of you, I've done this before when there's been like a rattling or something going on in my car or something. I'm like, I could take it to the mechanic, but I'm just curious if I could kind of figure it out on my own. And I go to YouTube and I search on YouTube for that answer, right? There's a lot of people who use YouTube to search for answers for things. And if you're creating content around people's questions, which tomorrow we're going to talk about how you find the questions people are actually typing in to YouTube and into Google. If you create content of people who are actually searching for things, then you're going to attract an audience. So YouTube is the #2 most used search engine. The other pro that a lot of people don't know about is you can just use your phone. iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. I'm just writing iPhone. But you can record a video with your phone. And if you have a phone within the last 2 or 3 years, you have HD quality, even 4K quality videos that you can record with your phone. You can even edit the front and middle or front and end on your phone and upload it directly to YouTube. So there's really no reason to not get started. If you know how to record a video on your phone, you can start a YouTube channel, right? Now, what are some of the cons? Some of the cons are obviously, like I mentioned, you got to get camera ready. So that's one. If you want to do more editing, then there's a step involved there unless you want to outsource it. I'm going to show you a tool coming up in a couple of days that I love. You can actually, it will turn your video into a transcript, and just by editing out the words, it edits the video. It's awesome. So we'll be talking about that coming up. And then another con is learning some SEO. There are some SEO factors here with YouTube. So I'll just color this in. So you got all of this section right here, right? There's some SEO factors with YouTube that you need to learn. And once you learn it, it's great because people find your videos. You want them to find your videos. But there are some things like tagging, understanding titles, descriptions, words that you wanna learn about. Okay? And then finally, there is teacher. What are the pros and cons to live stream? Well, a pro is it's interactive. So these other forms, if you look at these other forms are not interactive. I mean, you could say a writer, a blog, it's interactive in the comments, but not live interactive. Podcast is not really built to be live interactive. YouTube's not really live and interactive either. And so the only one that's really live and interactive is a live stream, right? Understanding that, if you go live, it's your virtual classroom. And just like right now, I can respond to people's questions. In fact, if you have a quick question, go ahead and ask it right now. Just put a capital letter Q and I'll answer your question. And then of course, let's hit some other of these pros and cons. You need a decent mic and you're good. Doesn't have to be that fancy. And another one is you can catch people. Just like right now, some of you are here because I sent an email out and you came and showed up to watch this. And for others of you, you just were on one of the social media platforms that I just went live to. So I'm multicasting right now, which means I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, where some of you are watching, I'm on LinkedIn, where some of you are watching, and on Twitter. And I can catch people who are already hanging out in those social platforms and draw them into my world. So it's different than all those other formats where they have to actually search for you, if that makes sense, right? You can catch people. And then one more is, I would say, it builds trust. And the reason why is because it's live. I mean, obviously, you might be watching the replay on this, which many people do, but I'm recording this live and I don't have a script. And it's just one person talking to another person and taking my years of experience and helping you to shortcut your path to success so you can be successful faster than even I was, because I had to learn a lot of this stuff the hard way, right? And so those are some pros. What are some cons to live streaming? There are some tech challenges here, I'll be honest. You know, you've got to be willing to kind of put yourself out there a little bit and go live and make sure that your microphone has sound, make sure that the camera's got decent lighting. Whereas when you're recording a YouTube video, you can just say, oh, I'm going to start over. I stumbled on my words. I'm going to start over. When you're live, it's just whatever you're saying is going out there, right? And that intimidates some people, but you get more and more used to it the more that you do it. And I would say overall, there's a lot of different tech tools. Again, we're going to go over my toolbox, level 1, level 2, and level 3, depending on if you're a newbie. I'm going to have level 1 solutions for you. Level 2, if you want to like level up to the next level, or level 3, if you want something like I have set up here, where I turned one of my rooms in my house to a live stream studio, which is what I'm doing here. And I'm managing all by myself. And I can go back and forth between the main camera, giving you a link to the workbook, back to the iPad, where I'm drawing on the iPad. So we'll get into some of that in the future challenge. So here's what I want you to do right now. This challenge is all about taking action. So of these 4, writer, teacher, speaker, coach, and let me find a different color here for this one. I guess that's kind of close to the other one, isn't it? Let's do orange. So writer, blog, let's say it this way, blog, podcast, YouTube, or live stream. Which one are you going to choose? Go ahead and tell me right now in the comments, right now, wherever you're watching. If you're watching the replay, I want you still to participate. Put blog if you're leaning towards launching a blog. Put podcast if you're thinking about a podcast. YouTube channel if you're thinking about a YouTube channel, or live stream if you're thinking about a live stream. And this will help me to know which ones I should spend a little bit more time on days 3, 4, and 5 coming up, because we've got a lot more to cover. Then in your workbook, the last part of this is looking at you deciding, okay? There are 2 decisions that you need to make. So first of all, which one are you going to do? So if you're going to do a blog, you're going to just write in blog right here. Maybe some of you were where I was, where I had a blog, and I was like, I think I'm ready to start a podcast too. And so in 2011, I added a podcast. Well, you know what I did? I went back to all my old blog posts and I made podcast episodes out of them. Then around 2013, 14, maybe 15, I don't remember exactly, I started doing a little bit more with YouTube. And I went back to all my podcasts and turned them into video that I uploaded to YouTube. And so you might be wanting to, if you don't have any of these in place, you want to choose one. If you have one in place, maybe you're ready to choose a second one. So I want you to write in. So if you were to choose blog, then the next thing is frequency. Now, when I first started blogging, I did 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That was back in the day. I recommend that a lot of people don't do that, that they just publish weekly. I'd rather you pick a day of the week and make that your day. Every Wednesday, a new blog post goes live. Every Wednesday, a new podcast goes live. Every Wednesday, and it doesn't have to be Wednesday, it's whatever day you want. Every Wednesday, a new YouTube video goes live. Make it routine. That's why when I do my live stream show, I show up every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, unless I'm running one of these challenges, to do my live stream show. It's that consistency of keep showing up for your audience. So that's the choices you need to make. I see Mary says she's going to do a blog. Awesome. And the rest of you, just let me know. What is it that you're thinking about? Blog, podcast? I asked this question yesterday and we had a whole gamut across the board, but I would love to know what you're looking towards. So that is your homework today. I want you to choose blog, podcast, YouTube, or live stream. And then if you were to start it, how often are you going to do it? Is it going to be weekly? Then what day of the week? Go ahead and choose a day of the week. This challenge is about taking action and making decisions. Then tomorrow, just a little sneak peek tomorrow, I'm going to be introducing the Content Idea Bank. You're going to want to come back tomorrow if you've ever had the feeling of, I don't know what to create. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to talk about on the podcast. I don't know what videos to do. I'm going to show you tomorrow. When you see this content idea, this way of finding what people are looking for, it's going to blow your mind. And a lot of these tools I want to introduce tomorrow are completely for free. So you can find the questions your audience is already searching for, and then create content around those questions, and then boom, your audience finds you, right? How awesome is that? We're going to be talking about that today or tomorrow on day 3. So remember, every day this week up until Friday, we're going to be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you're over on the YouTube channel, go ahead and hit subscribe to make sure you get notified. If you hit the bell, it'll actually let you know, or it'll remind you that I am live. And so subscribe, hit the bell. If you're in our Facebook group, we'll show up there tomorrow live. If you're over on LinkedIn, I'll be showing up there live as well. And Twitter, if you're already following me, it'll show up at the top of my profile. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. I hope this was helpful. If you've been watching via the replay, which a lot of people do, feel free to still participate. Give me your comments. I see a lot of people are choosing blog. Leslie said blog. CJR is blog as well. What about vlogs? P.S. watching on TV. Open this to comment. Vlog is pretty much like it would be on YouTube, right? So a vlog is just a video. Blog is what it's like. There's a strategy for that. Maybe we'll get into a little bit more, but that it would be over on YouTube. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. We'll see you tomorrow, all about the Content Idea Bank. And I'm going to show you how to come up with so many ideas. You just won't have time to create all of them. You're never going to run out of ideas ever again of what to create to attract your audience. We'll see you there tomorrow. Bye-bye.